Lexie, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well.
Did you have a late shoot last night?
I did. I didn't get to sleep until like 5 a.m., but
What are we
no
doing?
complaints.
What are we
I'm
doing?
I'm filming a movie, a whole movie.
Can you talk about it or no?
Yeah, no, I absolutely can. It is for Amazon Prime and Lifetime. It's a movie, I guess, like the documentary, The Tinder Swindler. It's basically the movie of that. So instead of a documentary, it's the movie.
Can I tell you that I was so wrapped in, and I think all of us were so wrapped into this dude's story and how much he gaslit all of these women, and the fact that he actually wanted to book. I think he booked a Hollywood agent or something like that, and wanted to get shopped around as if he was an actual talent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think he, no consequences whatsoever, but
Do you ever think about what type of sociopath you have to be to even do something like that?
Unbelievable. Luckily that's my co-star's character work and not mine.
So how's it been filming this movie?
It's been super fun. I've done movies in the past, but never been the lead. So I think that was kind of like that's been a very new experience. A lot of the time, if when you're not the lead, which I never have been, I get a scene off here, a day off there, and then yeah, this experience, I've never a moment to sit down, no days off. This is my first day off in about a week and a half. So
I didn't. You know what's interesting? I think people think actress or actor, and that it's not to say glitz and glamour, but I think a lot of it people think that it's
absolutely.
so easy to do, and I feel like it is the hardest thing. Learning lines, learning your mark, learning how far you're supposed to walk, and things like that. It's so hard, right?
Yeah, honestly, I would say too, like even those things, lines, no problem. Figure blocking, figuring out where you're supposed to go in the scene, no problem. I'd say a lot of it, is it's just mentally and emotionally extremely draining. I mean, if you're not good at your job, I'm sure, it would be easy, but like I actually try to, put my best foot forward and I do all of that character work and emotionally get invested in the character. And when you're doing that over and over and over again, it can be pretty difficult. And we had a fight scene this past week and that was crazy too. Cause it's stunted and you're not actually getting hit with stuff, but you are actually getting thrown around. You're actually hitting the ground over and over again. It's all these different things that definitely make you tired. And all throughout that, you're supposed to be acting, and it's emotionally exhausting. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. So
You know what's interesting? I think people don't understand that when you are acting, you are really getting into these feelings. You're really tapping into whatever the scene is, you're really thinking about the hurt or the sadness or the excitement,
yeah,
which can be exhausting.
yeah, absolutely. No, and it definitely is. In this character, she goes through a lot of emotions. She's been hurt a lot of times. So to constantly be, tapping into that, and using things from your personal life to, you're reliving that over and over and over again when you do a scene, and that is extremely tiring.
Can I just tell you, my grandmama loved The Young and the Restless?
You're who?
My grandmama.
Oh, really? Yeah, I get that a lot. Yeah, I get that a lot. It's usually the grandmas.
No, and no, no disrespect or anything like that. But let me tell you, when we were off from school, The Young and the Restless, and we were with our grandmothers, we were watching The Young and the Restless, The Price is Right, got a can
Absolutely,
of
me
ginger ale. And so
too.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I absolutely do. That's my favorite question I get, from older ladies. They're like, "Oh yeah, don't you love this show?" Like, I'm like, I love being on it. Do I watch it? As religiously as like, okay, it's 12 o'clock. I'm gonna be on watching it. Probably not, but
You know what's interesting? You know what's I don't know what it is about the soaps, but it's so easy to get
sucked
wrapped
in.
up in.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Let me tell you, my grandmama used to be crushing on Victor Newman. You hear me?
Oh, absolutely. He has all the ladies. He has no problem with his game whatsoever.
It's really interesting. You guys have to do one show a day, right?
Yeah, to be honest with you, sometimes more than that. I mean, we'll shoot one full show in a day, and then we might do like half of another show or half of, a third show. It kind of depends on the shooting schedule, but yeah, we will definitely shoot an entire episode at least in one day.
And that's the reason because every day is a new episode.
Yeah, and I mean, they're backlogged for sure, in case of things like COVID or we do have, I'd say, like a week off almost every month, if not every other month. And then like Christmas and stuff, we get breaks, but so they have it kind of backlogged for those. But yeah, we are shooting for that reason, that there's never a day where one is not airing. So
Right. Is it hard to remember because one show a day, those are a lot of lines that you're remembering. Is that difficult?
I would say at first it was, but because I did it for 3 years, it's, your brain is like a muscle. So now, I easy can remember a script in 5 minutes, which I love because it obviously makes a lot less, it's less time consuming, and it allows me to work on the character more as opposed to, being stuck on the lines. But yeah, no, not anymore. It was in the beginning, but
Lexie, let me tell you, that is a flex. Learning a script like that.
yeah, just out here flexing my memory skills.
Do me a favor and tell me, what is the fundraising that you have on March 20th in New York City?
Absolutely, yeah. So that's the Blossom Ball. It's for the Endometriosis Foundation of America, and it's a charity event, and we have a bunch of amazing, inspiring people come and talk, and obviously the donations and the stuff that we're able to get from that goes towards research. So it's a really important and amazing event that everybody comes together and puts on. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've learned a lot every time I go. But yeah, it's an incredible organization to be a part of.
And for people that are not familiar, what is endometriosis?
So endometriosis is a reproductive disease, and you have the line. This is how I describe it. It's like so non-medical, but I like to break it down to the most simple
Right.
way. But basically, in your uterus, you have your uterine lining, and it's kind of sticky so that it can hold. When you're ovulating, it can hold the blood, it can hold the eggs, whatever. So that sticky lining, the endometrial tissue, grows not only in your endometriosis, but it grows on your organs, your ovaries. It grows outside of the uterus, and that because it's sticky, it's like glue, so it can stick your organs together. It can cause really painful cramping in your uterus because there is an overgrowth of that tissue in there. Causes ovarian cysts. It just causes a bunch of different issues. But that's basically what it is when your endometrial tissue is growing outside of your uterus.
So how does it feel to be the first Black woman to be named the head of the advisory board?
Really good, I guess. Yeah, no, it feels it's awesome. I love that. I love that they trust me with that, and that I'm able to just help raise awareness, fundraise money for research, all of that stuff. I think, when I first moved out to LA, my manager, not my current one, but an older one, he's retired now, but he said to me, he was like, no matter how big or small you are, or no matter what you're doing, he's like, when you blow up and you're the biggest star in the world, he's like, you always need to have something that's going to keep you grounded and make sure you're giving back. And I don't know why, but that just always stuck with me. So I feel like being able to do, this is my way of, feeling like, reminding myself the world is much bigger than, me and Hollywood and all the that we do out here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it also makes you feel good doing so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a part of it that's self-satisfaction of being like, okay, I'm I'm doing something important.
Absolutely. So tell me what's next for Lexie.
Well, I've honestly, it's just kind of been nose to the grindstone with acting. I have a really good feeling about this year, especially booking my first lead in a feature film, which is like it's so crazy to me because we're starting off on the right foot. But yeah, that's basically it. Just keep auditioning, staying in my classes. I started, combat training, like all of that stuff. It probably sounds super nerdy and lame, but for me it's my bread and butter, and I'm having a lot of fun focusing on it.
So being a lead in a feature film, is that number one on the call sheet?
That is number one on the call sheet, baby. Yeah. It's funny too because like I'm learning so much by being on set. And one of my friends, he was talking to me about how, he was like, oh yeah, he's on a show right now. And he was like, my everybody on set, he's like, they're always looking to see like who's number one on the call sheet. I'm like, what does that mean? And he's like, well, if you're number one on the call sheet, you're the, head honcho. And I'm like, wait, really? He's like, yeah, you should look at your call sheet. So I did. And I was like, wait, I'm number one. He goes, you have to get that framed. Like, I was like, what? It's so new to me because I've never heard, being number one on the call sheet. So it's very funny you say that because now that this is not a second person who's like, you number one on the call sheet.
It's so funny and it's such a huge accomplishment and you definitely deserve it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for jumping on Zoom and chatting with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. A lot of fun.
Of course.